And that's probably enough of that. Okay, Omega?
Yes.
Are you there?
No.
I hope you are. Okay, audio for the audience, you're going to have to tell us exactly how each of us are sounding, because I got the mixing board open, so give us information.
Tell us lies. Tell us sweet little lies.
Yes.
Oh, no, you can't disguise.
Sis says we both sound good, which is nice, I suppose.
Well, we should. My mic was expensive.
It was. That was, for Omega, who I know loved that piece of music. That was Maybe I'll Die Tomorrow by Paul Gilbert.
Well, actually, I have the stream muted, otherwise it will heat up my computer, so there you go. I assumed you were playing music because you said you were.
I only used that song. It's the theme to Ryuhei Kitamura's Origami, but I used it. Which I also used in the God of Vampires review, but because I'm using it in the Versus review that I started scripting.
Vampires?
Yes, Vampires of the God.
I seem a bit louder than you, Dirk Cork says.
Okay. Then...
That's your problem. No, I'm just kidding.
I think you have...
well, I'm sitting, kind of back away from the mic.
I think you have one of the speakers and I have the other one, so... Okay, try again now.
Try again doing what?
Just your usual voice level.
Hi, everybody, it's me, Omega. How you doing?
Is that roughly the same, Dirk Cork?
It was me, the master, the whole time.
It doesn't sound... I do like your master impersonation and that line you've come up with for him, because it really encompasses him. Unfortunately, the impersonation doesn't sound like any master in particular.
No, but he just has like that kind of like smarmy smile, like, hey everybody, it was me, the master, I did it. Kind of like a lounge singer. Here's a few numbers you might know. Let's kill the doctor. Take it away.
It sounds like you've come up with a really, really, really perfect impersonation of the visual of Anthony Ainley's master, but without actually ever having heard him. So you don't sound like him in real life, but you sound like how he should sound based on how he looks.
I'm totally gonna conquer Gallifrey. It's only a matter of time.
I'm gonna try and find a picture of him smiling so you can see.
He does. It's just both him and Roger Delgado. They're just kind of like, the doctor's like, oh no, who could possibly be behind this except the dogs? Oh, it was the master. And he just kind of waltzes on stage like, hey everybody, it was me. But you didn't realize it. There's
a picture of Anthony Ainley as the master.
Exactly. I was waiting in your most recent one for you to use the line. You didn't. I was like, oh.
Well, I used it was me the master the whole time, in Planet of the Spiders, yeah.
I was waiting for that. He does, he's just kind of like, hey everybody, I'm the master. So much more handsome than the doctor, don't you think? He just does. But not in the new series, though. In the new series, he looks like a skater boy.
John Sim was terrible master. Derek Jacobi was good, though.
Well, Derek Jacobi's there. He's gonna be good. You could have him reading the dictionary and he'd be good.
The rumor for the Master in Season 8, there's several rumors. There's the guy from, a British soap opera who may well have got the role, and I'm like, I don't care about him. The other rumor is, though, that it's Charles Dance, and Charles Dance is the most... He's wonderful because he's the closest thing to Roger Delgado we have today.
You make that sound like there's a museum devoted to this. Today, we have nothing coming close to Roger Delgado except this resource.
Well, Charles Dance, it's like you take Roger Delgado and you make him not dead, and you make him, whiter, and make him ginger, and you've got Charles Dance.
Oh. Yeah, but then, there's going to be GIFs going around on Tumblr that says everybody dance now, and just...
I think it'll be fine.
No, Tumblr is never fine.
176.
Very triggered.
Charles Dance might be hard because he's killing it in Game of Thrones. Well, I'm pretty sure Charles Dance is going to be killed in Game of Thrones pretty soon. Everyone dies in that show. He's going to die soon. The idea with the Master...
That would be funny. Someone should do, the R.E.M. song Everybody Hurts? How the music video... You youngins don't know, but Google it. Back in the day, it was all slow and people's lives in a traffic jam. Well, someone should do that for Game of Thrones. I think it would be great.
All sorts of mashups of Game of Thrones intro. And you haven't seen it yet, but it's a good show.
I know. Well, the thing is, here's my thing. First of all, back in the day, I didn't have HBO. And second of all, I'm a book snob because I worked in a bookstore, so I have this thing of, oh, well, I'm not going to watch it till I've read the books.
Hipster Omega.
I am. Well, no, because I've always been that way. But here's the thing, is the books, I could get them all, really cheap with my discount, but there's a lot of them, and they're about the size of bricks. And I have so little time as it is. So I was like, you know what, screw that. I'll just watch the show. But then you were like, I want to show you the show, so now I'm not going to watch it until I'm living with you. Or living over in.
Yeah, we can do it
Thanks.
Whenever you're over at Teddy's. I suppose, I know Lindsay's doing a Game of Thrones vlog thing. Doug does the Adventure Time vlogs and stuff.
Yeah, but by then it'll be done, though. I don't like doing, I don't know.
Well, you could do a vlog TV show thing. It would be an excuse. It would be a way to get vlogs up there without actually having to pay for the cinema.
That's true. Although what I do want to do when I get Teddy and Robin to help me build my supercomputer is I want to have you over while I play a game and then capture the footage along with me getting drunk. So it'll be like a Let's Play, but also drunken Let's Play, and also, I don't know, some kind of fun.
Well, if you get the computer capture footage, thing working, then I will probably be over yours doing some other things, because one thing I've been trying to do, and never been able to get the technology working, is doing a couple of Let's Plays on the Arkham games.
See, I don't even want to do Let's Plays. I just want to stumble around bonking into things and think, fuck, wait, no, don't kill me, no, not with fire. Like, I'm a big fan of, I know everyone on the internet hates him except me, but if you follow Yahtzee Croshaw on his YouTube channel, he and his friend Gabe do a thing called Let's Drown Out. Well, it's not really a Let's Play, but the point is to play really boring games, but have, like, kind of podcasty things to talk about, and it's an hour, and what I like to do is I like to watch it and then download it with YouTube Downloader, and then turn it into an MP3, and then take that to listen to on long plane trips and stuff.
It sounds like a doable thing. Like, but there's a few other games, that we could do like that. We could totally do, get like two other people and do a Dragon Age Let's Play, but you play the Warden, and then get other people to play other characters, and sort of like
How conceivably would that occur?
We have microphones and we're having banter as though we are the members of the party, getting into character. It's like, oh, look, here's some Gemlocks. I'm going to totally stab them. Motherfuckers.
I like the drunk idea better. So, although, then I'll have to be a member of the PC Gaming Master Race, and I don't know if I'm up for that. I've always been a console gal myself.
Just in case you didn't realize, this is going to be a semi-interactive episode of Lesbian Talk. It's going to be edited a little bit, probably,
it's all
before it was
about
uploaded.
You.
And, so, anyone, you have any questions? You have any suggestions for us to talk about? We can. I suppose I could play
I was going to be like, we want to hear you talk about Doctor Who and Dragon Age some more, because that never happens.
Well, I can talk about Dragon Age, because I'm playing it for like a 6th time, because whenever I'm not working...
It's the best game. I'm on my 4th playthrough of 2.
Well, I like redoing Dragon Age, because your background and all does subtly alter the game, and I like redoing it to see how it's impacted. Plus, because it's so fucking long, and because I know how the storyline goes in Broadway, in the Broadway, I can listen to TV shows that I'm watching, while I play it. Like, I've been watching that way, the Flash series from the early 90s, like that. And his costume in the 90s show was much better than the one on Arrow. Omega has no idea what I'm talking about.
Is Nix says, or it's somebody with a purple name suggests you play Dragon Age. Go for it. It's fun. You can probably find it for both of them for like $20. But get the Ultimate Edition because it has Awakenings, which is this, expansion pack, and it's fun, and there's zombies. And
Omega got me Dragon Age, the basic version, for, quite cheap for Valentine's Day. And I played through it, out of a sense of obligation. I sat sadly there. Oh, I now need to play Dragon Age because my wife got it for me. So I played through and almost completely accidentally, made story choices that she hated because she's a paladin.
You play the bad ones, always. And I'm like, don't be a bastard. Be a good person.
When I finished the game, I spent my own money and bought the upgraded version of it with its add-on, with all the extra DLC all included, because I enjoyed the game that much. And then, a couple of months ago, last month, I bought Dragon Age 2 out of a sense of obligation and everything, and sat down and played it. And fortunately,
be a lesbian.
I don't like Dragon Age 2 as much as Dragon Age 1.
Well, you're a fool.
You can be a lesbian in Dragon Age 1. My elf and dwarf are both lesbian.
Yeah, technically, but Isabella is more fun than Lyanna, even though Lyanna is more important to the canon world.
Liliana is much better.
She's like, bitches, I'm in all the books, and she is.
In my playthroughs, I have romanced absolutely everyone who can be romanced in Dragon Age 1. My most recent one is a pretty unpleasant dwarf noble guy who is shacking up with Morrigan.
I was about to say, if you're evil, it's really easy to get with Morrigan. Although I was like my good honorable self, and I got her to 100% approval, and she's like, so do you think there could be a thing, us? And I was like, I'm kind of banging a guy, if you haven't noticed. And she's like, oh, approval dropped by 5, oh. And then at the end, she was like, aha, the dark ritual. And I was like, it's just because you wanted to sleep with me, isn't it? Well, fine. Have your way. Don't yell, Zevran. What are you laughing for? It's the truth.
If I could make one change to Dragon Age 1 in the relationship dynamics, I would. They have 2 bi characters and 2 straight characters. They really should have had 2 gay characters as well.
Yeah, but they took a whole lot of flack for having any bi characters at all.
And then in Dragon Age 2, they torchwoodified it by making everyone bisexual.
I don't mind that. Well, because the thing is that in Thetis, they make a point of saying it's kind of like, whatever goes. Like, I mean, if you have reproductive obligations, like you have to produce an heir or something, then, you produce an heir, but anything you want to do on your own time, go for it. And I like that.
Yeah, even in a culture where that's, that happens, not everyone's gonna be attracted to both sexes, though.
Yeah, but because here's the thing, though. So, if you play a male Anders, or you play a male, and Anders is like, hey, baby, what's up? And you're like, oh, Anders, he's like, yeah, I know that I totally was a womanizer in the last game, but I'm all about you. Well, you don't know the last game. You weren't the warden. You weren't with him. He could be lying. He could just be really horny. I mean,
Yeah, well,
Yes, Spike, he does. He, basically, you never use any of the romantic triggers, and then all of a sudden he's like, the only answer is to shoot me down or start a romance that you didn't want in the first place. So you have to shoot him down. He's like, 10 approval loss. And I'm like, fine, I'm going to use Meryl for the next few missions just to punish you.
Anders in Dragon Age 2 was... His character had changed so much, and the voice actor and the design, it was like... Originally it was supposed to be the elf woman from Awakening, and she had no similarity at all. They should have gone for the elf... I maintain Anders in Dragon Age 2 was much more in character with the elf woman from Awakening.
So emo. Yeah, Benzo, I agree. It's just easier if you have all the options.
Yeah. It was either that or they were trying to make no one feel excluded in the audience of the game. But I felt
I liked that. I liked having options.
I just felt it was at the expense of one level of realism. I felt the same way about the changing of the fighting style, because the original one, it was like, we're wearing big armor, we've got big swords, so things are really fucking slow, which I liked. And then the second one, it's suddenly, I got a two-handed sword, and I'm jumping over there like a fucking Muppet.
It was more anime, and I kind of liked that.
Which I wasn't so much into.
Because I was like, demons, no problem. Until I was like, oh shit, this one's really hard, quick, run away. That's how I am in Skyrim. Oh shit, run away. I should have called my character Sir Robin, because we spent all of our time bravely running away.
A couple of days ago I started playing Dead Rising again because, until very recently I had a very small TV, and then Teddy for my birthday gave me a massive TV, and
it's
so
not massive.
Well, it's bigger than I had.
It's bigger than you had, but honey, it's about the size of, a flat screen monitor.
Yeah, but I'm used to smaller things because I don't really feel the need for big ones. So I got this one. So I bought Dead Rising again to play through it so I could actually read the fucking subtitles and stuff. And so I started playing it, and then I was doing stuff, and then I had to capture very early on. I had to save these 2 old people, and I was trying to get them back into the base. And I couldn't see the only thing I could find to get them back into the fucking mall was via a lift. And they wouldn't let me go by I couldn't find the ducks to take them back to the base, so then I had to do this mission to find this guy who was phoning me all the time across the fucking mall covered in zombies, followed by 2 elderly people. and there's like 50,000 zombies and me and the other person, and I died, and then the game's like, do you want to restart? However, with all of your experience points built up already, and I'm like, no, fuck you, I'm not going to keep playing and dying till I get to level 15 just so I have stand a fucking chance. Why couldn't you let me start level 15? It's like the game starts off,
I think the problem is that you're playing a zombie game.
No, it's the idea of a game instead of slow-moving zombie movie is a good one. It's just the way that Dead Rising is set up seems to be designed to irritate me.
Well, then you shouldn't play Dead Souls or Dead Souls 2, because I hear that those are murderously hard. Like, biting the controller kind of hard.
Oh yeah, Robin
like
and Neil the Minion.
1980s hard.
Robin and Neil the Minion both love those games.
See, I'm an escapist player, so I like things to be realistic. Like, I like the roleplay aspect, but at a certain point, I'm here to have fun. I paid money and I want to have fun, damn it. And when I'm frustrated, it's not fun.
You see one of the writers on Dragon Age Origins, and she was one of the main writers on 2. She wrote the Deep Roads parts of Dragon Age, and she was one of the main ones in 2. She did an interview last year where she was talking about how in the Dragon Age games you've got the ability to skip the cut scenes if you want.
Oh, really? I totally didn't know that.
And she said this was a good thing because it caters to players who only want to do the action. Yeah, if you press the button on the left, the middle left button, you can skip the cutscenes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And she said this was put in there deliberately so they could, be nice to the players who only want to play the game part and don't like the story. But she said that the next level that she really wants to do in a future game is create some sort of mechanic so you can actually skip the gameplay of a game if you're only interested in the story but you're not good at playing.
In that case, I mean, that's cool, but why not just rent a movie?
Well, if you're liking that, honestly, if it's implemented right, I think I could be on her side on that. Because a movie doesn't stop you every 10 minutes to make you do some sort of a feat or something that's really fucking difficult and make you do it several times over until you can get the next 10 minutes of the movie.
Think of how much weight you'd lose if it did. I
know, but a book doesn't make you do a quiz before you can, get to the next chapter. Video games, some people like to actually, some people like to be challenged in video games. Some people just want to play something fun. I mean, I'm not a good gamer. That's fine. On the Arkham games, I can beat them on the highest level, but that's because I'm quite good at them. Most games I played on the easiest level because I just want to have fun. I don't really want to challenge myself. I'm not into that. I just want to play the game and have fun. I like the idea that you could skip things that you just find really fucking difficult. But it would need to be implemented correctly.
Yeah.
But the woman, apparently she quit working on the Dragon Age games in part because of the shit she got from, gamers because she expressed that opinion.
Super Neko says, this is why in the new Super Smash Bros. You can play for fun or glory. I like that. I like the idea of sitting down, powering up my Xbox and saying, alright, for fun or glory.
Gaming is not just the preserve of people who have a lot of time and an obsessive-compulsive need to be better than their friends, or their enemies, or anyone else. It's the preserve of everyone now.
Well, I mean, I know that, if I had my say, there'd be things I like. Like, I like the idea of World of Warcraft, but I wish it was a console game that I could play by myself. Because I don't like people.
Yeah, the gaming is really broad now.
Like when Mists of Pandaria came out and I saw the trailer for that, I was like, wow, I really wish that would come out for a console, so I could just play it by myself and be done.
Yeah, you wrote an article about that.
I did, as I don't like people.
You ever come across people who get really annoyed whenever something they like is suddenly mainstream?
Oh, gee, honey, I have never I don't know anyone like that ever in the world, and I've never met someone ever.
Are you making a comment about Doctor Who?
No, I'm making a comment about us and all of the people we know ever.
Ah. Well, I'm just talking about, not so much a small, adaptation of an art form or something. I'm talking about an actual art form, like the people who like jazz from the 1930s, and then suddenly it's in movies and everything, and they're really annoyed about it. It's stuff like that. This is what gamers, the hardcore gamers, remind me of. There's a
British word for that, isn't there? I think it's wanker, isn't it?
Wanker just means jerk off. Oh. But hardcore gamers are a little bit like that. They do not like the fact that not all of them obviously, but there's a subset there who just don't like the fact that games are not just made for people who are completely dedicated to what they like. And honestly, I can understand why they're feeling like that. I feel like that about when it comes to Doctor Who. Like, in my darker moments, I do feel that people who only like David Tennant or Doctor Who are not as much Doctor Who fans as people who like everyone but David Tennant.
Yeah, but it's really easy to fall into that trap of there being the one true way. Like, I mean, I loved video games when I was little. Like, I had a friend who had Atari, and I literally only, whatever, well, no, that's not true, but, see, he wasn't really my friend, our parents are friends, but whenever we went over, I was like, can we play Mr. Cool? And he's like, yeah, I don't understand why you want to play my Atari all the time. I'm like, because it's fun, and I don't have one. Like, I can lay the claim to being an old school gamer, but really that's just because I'm old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my first console was a Atari 2600.
My first console that I owned, unfortunately, was I can't remember if I got the Sega Genesis or the Game Boy first, because I wasn't allowed to have consoles because I was a bad child.
Originally, I forgot what I was going to say.
You were a bad child?
Yes, I'm very bad. I'm considering constantly buying an Atari. A collection of Atari games for the Xbox 360.
See, here's the thing, because I got the Sonic collection with all the other stuff on it, and I was so excited, and I played through all the Sonic games and blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, there's some other games on here. Oh, the graphics are bad. The controls are fiddly. Wait a second, is it possible that I just saw all of this through rose-tinted glasses?
Well, it's pretty likely, probably. Super Naku? Wow, you must be really young. Super Naku's first console was a PlayStation 1.
Oh dear.
Okay, my consoles I have owned. Atari 2600, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360. I do not want to jump into PlayStation 4 or Xbox One.
Well, I'm going to jump into PlayStation 4, I'm just letting you know.
I'll play it over at yours on occasion, probably.
Okay. But, let's see. I had Game Boy, Sega Genesis, Virtual Boy, PS1, PS2. I had an Xbox for a while, but it broke because it was a refurbished one. And, Xbox 360. Oh, and a Wii. I had a Wii, but I traded it in.
Okay, Fangs of Amber wants to know what our favorite Xbox 360 games are.
Well, I haven't played many. I had to say Dragon Age.
I am gonna go for there's like a rogues gallery of games in the 360 that I really like. So there's several, but right now I'm gonna just say Arkham City. Arkham Origins was shit, but Arkham Asylum and then Arkham City perfected it, and I really hope Arkham Knight is good as well. But it's not gonna be on the 360, so I won't know for a while.
Mm. Was it going to be on PS4? Because you can play it at mine.
Yeah, it'll be on the PS4.
There you go. Well, the thing is, I don't want an Xbox One, and I've always been loyal to PlayStation, so I figure if I'm going to get a next gen, and it's going to come out of my moving to another country fund.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Teddy and Neil, they're going to, at the earliest possible juncture, they're going to get a PS4 probably. They might already have one.
Well, I know that he wanted me to buy one in America, and then he'd PayPal me the money, and somehow I would get it to him, but that seems like an awful big risk to take to ship a box, and a lot of shipping risk, so.
Yeah. I think he worked that out.
So I'll just also get one over there.
DeCrook, I like the Ghostbusters on the Xbox 360, except I'm bad at shooting games, and Ghostbusters, it wasn't Ghostbusters 3 as people said it was. It was like, it's like Ghostbusters 3, It's like, no, it's a rehash of Ghostbusters 1 with a lot of references to Ghostbusters 1. But it was nice to have the original actors back.
One of my favorite games I will never see anywhere ever again was Super Wario Land for the Virtual Boy. It was one of the best games. I know that every time we talk about video games, I say this, and someone's like, "Oh, Megan, try this emulator. It's kind of good." And I'm like, "Well, I can't make it work."
I can never make emulators work.
I think what I could probably do is to go to that video game store in King of Prussia Mall, and I could probably buy Virtual Boy there.
Actually, well, you probably could buy one there, but Virtua Boys will probably cost you a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to spend an exorbitant amount, but if I ever wanted to, I bet I could.
I'm guessing they'll cost a lot simply because they weren't out for very long. So
I had one, and I always played with my glasses on, so I never had any eye damage.
I just had to look up £500 Virtual Boy used.
Yes, but that's in the UK.
Yeah. It'll be a different price in America, but it's
America.
Someone else is selling the Virtual Boy, just the main body part, for £183.
It was just a really solid game, because it had a really great combo, and I'll always miss it. Amen.
I think the Super Wario Land, that was the only game on the Virtual Boy that Angry Video Game Nerd actually liked.
It was really solid. It made a really good use of 3D, and it had one of my favorite Mario combinations ever, which was the Water Dragon Crystal and the Eagle Claw, so you could make Flying Awesome Dragon Wario, which just kick your fucking ass.
And on Amazon.com, it is, for a new one, that's $483.
Yes, but that's Amazon, not this place, and this place might have it different because they're obviously made of magic.
Yes, well, yes, they are. But the used ones cost less than $150.
Dark David, it's, I think right now it's like 1.67 USD to £1, although that might be from earlier in this week.
My usual rule of thumb is $1 is about 60 pence.
Yeah, it's basically like, even though we have all the nukes, we never get treats.
I don't know, the British pound seems to be the biggest form of money in the sense that its penny seems to be much bigger in worth than any penny from another country. You know?
That's because your 2 pence piece is frickin' huge. I think it's some kind of scam.
It might be, but I would be really curious to see a country which, can dwarf the pound in that way, the way that the pound dwarfs the dollar.
Yeah, well. It just, whenever I'm like, oh wow, I have $1 million saved up for college, and I convert it to pounds, I'm like, oh, I have £3 27 pence.
Well, whenever we go to do backseat critiques and stuff, I will pay for your tickets because we're going to go in on the half price night. Okay, anyone in the audience, did you watch the backseat critique I put up earlier today for the quiet ones? Because at the very end, there's a little announcement about the future of those cinema.
Oh, honey,
trips.
I actually only saw up to half of it, because then my Windows auto restarted, so.
That's okay. It's just, I'll mention it now. Robin in about 2 months will be moving back to Belfast-ish.
Oh, so that is happening?
Yeah. So in a couple of months there won't be any more of the Backseat Critiques, me and Robin. However, they did say that they're going to try to come up to the area as often as possible, probably for filming Hagen's, and so.
Also, like for girlfriend.
This is true, although she might live in Cookstown.
Um.
So, Robin will be appearing again, but it looks like from the summer onwards, at least for the summer, my main partner in Backseat Critiques is going to be Teddy, and we're going to be doing it probably at his house rather than the car, because neither of us drive.
It'll be like, here's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, Creature, Robin, basically, in order to aid getting a job, has to sort of move back to the parents' house for a while. Would really prefer to be in Derry, but oh well.
Well, yeah, but Robin might find a job, so you never know. Maybe.
Might, but I'm not going to pin any hopes on that.
Mm. So does that mean that, like, once it's my turn, I'll have to think of crimes? I don't commit crimes.
Well, our interactions are much different than me and Robin's. Me and Robin agree on everything, and we just go on tangents, while me and you disagree about everything and talk about completely different things.
Like, because you're like, things and stuff, and I'm like, actually, it's like this.
Yeah, and then we sometimes have the exact same argument, but we're on opposing sides depending on the film. Like, if you look at our Avengers and Hobbit vlogs.
Meh, I say.
Like,
hey, I'll get to see the third Hobbit in, like, the country that it was written in. Well, not really. That was England, but you know.
You get to see the Hobbit in the country a different country.
A country that's not mine.
I tell you, it'll be really upsetting, because this will be the first Hobbit which we did not get to see in, 3D IMAX.
Oh, because your one doesn't have it. Well, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, Derry doesn't have an IMAX. The closest IMAX, I believe, is Belfast.
We could go to Belfast, make a weekend of it.
Yeah, but it's like, do you really want...
You could go to Cosmo.
Well, but it's like, do you want to spend £12 on a bus to go to Belfast?
Yeah, if it means that we can go to Cosmo and we can get a room at the Travel Lodge and just have a getaway weekend.
Okay, we'll do that.
Plan.
Although it'll be coming up to Christmas. It'll be coming up to Christmas, so...
Well, I don't know when
actually, now that I think about it, Belfast is a really nice continental market around then, when it has lots of international foods and stuff.
Well, then that can be a thing.
Okay. And if anyone doesn't know
folks.
If anyone doesn't know what Cosmo is, it's a UK, it might be everywhere else, franchise of, it's like an all-you-can-eat Chinese, all-you-can-eat Japanese, all-you-can-eat Mexican, all-you-can-eat Italian, all-you-can-eat, Thai, all-you-can-eat Malaysian, all-you-can-eat Indian, all put together, and the food is quite good.
Yep. There are a lot of people there, especially if you go on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm guessing they can seat about 400 people.
1 billion people. 1 million people at the buffet.
It's really good.
We really talked about nothing. This is going to be the worst episode.
Oh, it's a random one. If people are bored by what we're talking about, make suggestions in the chat.
Well, no, I mean, like, our future listeners are going to be like, really? Lazy, cop-out, hate you.
This is like the second one of these we've done in like 55 episodes.
Everybody hates us. Nobody watches our show. The only people that comment are people who preempt the trolls and then the trolls. I'm like, stop that. Listen to the podcast. It's awesome. Shut up. I'm great.
Now, honey, I realize that, the numbers might not be as high as you want, or even I want, but, just remember, every single one of those numbers is a person who's taken time out of their day to listen to us.
That's true. But think about how many more people could use lesbians in their lives.
Yeah, a lot of them, and, it's really sad that they're not, but that's the sort of thing I try to remember whenever I notice the numbers aren't as good as I want,
Lesbians are fun for the whole family. As a friend of mine used to say. I don't know where she got that, but she would always say it, and I'm like, alright.
Well, they're fun for our family.
This is true. Did I tell you that my cousin's pregnant?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
Right,
your cousin blonde.
Oh, she's blondish. She's kind of like her natural hair color is dark hair.
Yeah, but she's always blonde whenever I see her.
Point.
Yes, everyone. Well, no, wait. Which one? Wait. I think we're talking about two different cousins, but I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay, skip subject.
So, chat, how's life treating you these days? See, if we're not talking about Dragon Age or Doctor Who, we got nothing.
We have a lot of stuff. See what we could do to save
time.
Well,
I had topics, but I wanted to save them for like a full-on balls-to-the-wall lesbian talk.
So we can keep a healthy level of Doctor Who until the new episodes start. How about we watch like a story from each Doctor and talk about it on an episode?
I could deal with that.
Yeah, okay. Then I will try to get you we'll decide this off camera, off audio recording.
It's a secret.
And then we can discuss these. We can start off with Hartnell maybe in about 2 weeks or so.
Okay. Shh, don't tell.
Hot topics.
What do you want to pick? Hot topics. Sorry.
In about a year, we're going to be talking about Thailand, probably.
That's true. We're going to go to Thailand. Well, we might, and it will be hot, and there will be bugs.
It's pretty likely. Basically, after I went to Florida, my parents, who are aged and retired and sort of,
very Scottish.
I'm very Scottish. They're like, we like going places, so we're going to go to this Disney place because you said it was interesting. And so they went, and now this summer, they're taking the rest of my family on an extended trip there. Unfortunately, Omega and I can't go because she's still finalizing about coming over here for university, and I didn't want to go without her. So we're not joining in on this. So my parents, they're like, next year we're going to Thailand again because we love Thailand, but we're really old, so you two have to come along and look after us. And we're like, but we'll pay for everything. Okay.
Like, all right.
So
I will carry things.
So we'll do at least one episode of Lesbian Talk in Thailand, and I think I'll probably film an episode of Hagen there too, just for the lols.
And we'll get incredibly crazy food poisoning, probably.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Waiter, there's a bug in my soup. No, it's bug soup. Oh, lovely. They have Nazis. Wait, Cypher, what? There's Nazis in Thailand?
think they're talking about Florida.
Oh, okay. There's so many things going on and I'm confused. I'm like, I didn't know they had Nazis in Thailand. That's news to me.
Thanks, Amber. Whenever we were in London, we met Laws at the random LGBT party we went to, and Laws was like, "Hi, I like Lesbian Talk." I'm like, "Holy shit!" We found someone out not only likes Lesbian Talk, but actually realized that we hadn't put a new episode up this week on Omega's Blip. So like one of the two people who listened to it before it was on Tigwatig. Wow.
That was cool because we were kind of out of our element, and I was even more so because I'm not even from that country. And I'm like, I thought we were going to go home and get chicken wings. What's happening? There's gay all over the place.
Yes, we're supposed to be in London to look at museums, and then suddenly we get invited to a film festival, hoity-toity party in London. What the fuck?
I wouldn't really describe it as hoity-toity.
Well, there was a guest list, and it was on the top of the British Film Institute.
That makes it hoity-toity?
Yes.
Alright, well, there you go.
Actually, Laws sent me a message a couple of days ago. They sent the email while they were listening to an episode of Lesbian Talk where we talked about Dungeness. Remember with Derek?
Yeah.
And he said, "Weird you mentioned Dungeness because I wanted to invite you and Omega if you make it to London in August for to me and my friends, like we're having a party in Dungeness." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like it won't be until early September. Omega's over in the UK. I'm so sorry, but that would be really cool. We'd love to see Dungeness at some point."
Yeah, I want to go to all those really weird places in the UK where, they film Doctor Who and stuff like that.
Well, that's all in Wales now. But
back in the day, where they're like, this is an alien landscape. It looks like someone's backyard. Shh.
All the quarries and everything. Dungeness was used as a location in at least the Claws of Axos, maybe more than that. It's one of these places that should be used in the new show, because it does look like an alien landscape.
England. And I want to go to Skarabrae, but that's an island, right?
Yeah, Skarabrae is an island. But I will, for anyone who doesn't know, I'll find a picture of Dungeness.
It's not where crabs come from. We thought that it was, but that's another one.
Dungeness just looks weird.
Someone has pinged me. What's the other one?
Oh, that's Rob Walker.
No, he hasn't pinged me.
Oh, okay.
Someone else has pinged me.
Oh, sorry, I was pinged by Rob Walker. There's a Tigwatig thing going on Skype. People are talking. I don't know what's going on. Shush. I'm just among everyone. They put me up there, but they've added me to the conversation.
Well, you're not in the same one that I am, because I'm not added to that one, but you can look out for my interests.
I will do that. Yeah, they put me in there. It's like between Mike Birdman Dodd and Cold Guy.
There you go. Well, the best place to be, really. Cold Guy's awesome.
Cold Guy is awesome.
Oh, Jerkork, I'm probably not going to make Brocon this year, but next year, probably.
Yeah, and interestingly, Jerkork, for about 20 minutes, it looked like Doug might have been going to Brocon. That was an interesting 20 minutes when that was a possibility. It's not anymore. He basically contacted me to get information on Brocon because he wanted to go. But then after I gave him the information, he checked and he's like, "Oh, I'm already doing a con that weekend. I'll try to go there next year." So next year you might have Doug at Brocon, and if we do, I've already said I want to do a crossover with them. Hagen and the crazy sports fan that I get him to play in my Mae West films. The sports fan is obsessed with femme things. So
I do like that cameo. I think it's and then for Sextet and him and Lewis doing that was really funny. That would be interesting to meet Doug Walker, having heard so much about him. I'll be like, "Oh hey, I've watched your show like twice."
Well, I think he's a nice guy, very talented, and the review would be on Pink Narcissus, the campest film I can find, and that would be the campest film I can find would probably be Zsa Saturna, but I really want to do that with Linkara and Lindsay.
I think there's got to be a way to figure out how to do that. Like if you physically went to New York City, filmed your part with Lindsay, and then had Lewis do his as a thing, as like a to camera, or if at some point you ended up out there visiting with Lewis, opposite.
Yeah, it's sort of thing. That's why it will probably have to be done less like a Con Bravo or something. but it's just trying to get notes from those guys, because both of them have agreed in principle to do it. It's just trying to get notes from them and then working out when it would be and arranging everything. The last thing I want is for it to be a camera-to-camera one, because honestly, everyone's performances suffer because of that. You know, whenever you're in the room with the person, everyone's performances are a bit better. But whenever
there's chemistry and shit.
When you try to emote to a camera, it's difficult enough trying to...
I love you, camera.
Yeah, it's difficult enough when you got to do the lines, you know, the punchline for a joke or something. It's even more difficult when you're trying to get a performance out without knowing what their performance is like, and it's difficult.
Yeah, you've got a point there. Well, whatever you need, I'll film it. Because, see, I don't... It's up in the air if I'm going to Con Bravo, because at that point in time, the UK Border Patrol may have my passport, because to get a student visa, they take my passport and they send it back with the visa. So if I have the passport back in time, I may be able to go to Con Bravo. If not, then no.
Yeah, definitely no. I'm not going to be in Con Bravo this year. However, we're going to try to go to Con Bravo next year.
Yes.
Both of us together, because we're not going to be at MagFest next year.
Well, let's not say, it's looking like 80% that we're not going to be able to be there, because that Monday is the beginning of term. So if I really wanted to make a red eye on the way home, it's possible, but... Let's
just put it down as no. We're not going.
I want to go.
I was told that I could go by myself, and honestly, I would rather go to Con Bravo with Omega than go to MagFest without her.
Although it's going to be a really rough MagFest, though.
I got the feeling it's going to be at half as big, probably.
Yeah, because a lot of people will be going back to school. Yeah,
it's like the last weekend of January.
Yeah, it's the 22nd through the 25th. And that Friday night is going to be a year's anniversary from Justin's death, and that's going to be rough.
Yeah, so no MagFest. But next year,
back in the country for Christmas though.
Next summer is going to be really, really fucking insane for me, though.
If everything happens. Aren't you like potentially going to that thing in Australia?
I might be in a thing in Australia. A fan of the show who was playing my religious themed reviews at his local atheist group in Melbourne, and he was at a hand in creating the lineup for this 2015 Global Atheist Conference. He asked me if I wanted to maybe be a guest in it, and I was like, sure. I haven't heard anything really since, but if they want me there and they're going to pay for my travel, I will definitely go. And we'll see. Next year might be Thailand, Australia, Con Bravo.
If you do go, note I say you, because no offense, if they're having you as the guest and they're paying for your stuff, that's fine. But I'm not sure that I want to take all of that time and all that expense to go to Australia.
Well, you can take the time, but not the expense.
Right. So if you do go, you should meet up with Enigma.
I would like to meet up with Enigma. Remember, he's in Tasmania, and I believe their conference is going to be on the eastern side of Australia, in the coast.
Get a bus.
It would
train.
He's on an island that is 500 miles south of Australia.
And on fire.
He could theoretically be there, but I don't think he'd want to spend the money.
Enigma Extreme is always on fire. You could tell in my sense.
So as a way to kind of remind these guys that I'm making videos that they might want to play, that's one of the reasons I decided to do Left Behind 2 and 3. Which are being done after Rock and Roll. I haven't scripted them yet, though.
Dun dun dun. I don't know. I had some friends that went to Australia. And then they had us all over to look at slides. But they were kind of douchebags. So I guess, I'm like, oh, Australia, that's where, the douchebags go.
Australia is...
And everything is poisonous and on fire.
Well, I would love to go. I'm a little bit of an Aussie-phile. There's a lot of Australian stuff I really like, and I find them fascinating.
It would be cool to visit, and it's one of those countries where I don't have to worry about trying to speak another language poorly. Because they speak English there. Although I've heard that when it comes to English-speaking countries, Australia is the most like America.
Yeah, Australia is like England crossed with America. It's also been described as the English rednecks.
Yeah, but then there's so many, like, everything can kill you, though. It's like, oh, you ate that breakfast cereal, well, you know, that's poisonous here in Australia.
Hey, we have a chocolate ice cream thing called, Golden Gay Time.
It's a golden gay old time, I tell you what.
But next year might be really, really busy. And BroCon as well, and, because although BroCon is in the same landmass as me, that involves at least 8 hours of travel to get there.
Do you know, and I don't think that you do know this, that every time we talk about Limerick, like the town in Ireland, I think of the Limerick nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania?
That's weird, because every time I talk about it, I think about,
The rhyme?
Yeah, or Spoonie's reaction to trying Monster Munch for the first time.
I mean, I know that, I'm guessing Noah's a good guy and everything, I mean, but
he is.
But maybe he just is, like, really sensitive to spice, because, I mean, and I've had the fresh stuff, like fresh, like, right out of the convenience store Monster Munch, and that kind of just not that spicy. Maybe he just isn't into spice. I mean, I don't want to, like, cast aspersions upon Spoonie, but... What? Eucalyptus trees are known to explode because their oil is highly... Yes. Australia, it is always poisonous and on fire and fucking exploding. It's like Michael Bay wrote The Country.
Excellent.
In a world where Australia is always on fire. Motherfucking eucalyptus trees. Take that, koala bear. I don't know, you guys. It's been a long day.
To correct, Monster Munch are hardly very spicy. Creature sent me some spicy... He sent me some action figure stuff, but he also sent me, like, popcorn and crisps as a sort of... What's the term? Like packing peanuts. Protect the stuff. But then these crisps, one of them was, like, these spicy ones, and they were basically the same as the Red Hot Monster Munch, but in non-monster shapes.
I mean, like, if you want to go, like, spicy crisps, spicy snacks, there's the wasabi peas, and I freaking love wasabi peas. They're a great snack to have, because they're, like, no sugar, there's some salt, they're low fat, they're, like, a good thing to snack on. But then when you guys tried some, you had, like, a minion try it, everyone was like, yuck, horrible.
That was pretty much Spoonie's reaction to trying the Monster Munch.
Like, I want to ask him about this occurrence, but sometimes I will, like, reply to one of his tweets, but I don't think that he knows that I'm your wife. And I'm really afraid at one point he's going to be like, well, fine, fuck you, and who do you think you are? And April will have to go, psst, that's Hawkins' wife. Oh, right.
Well, it would be funny if it happened like that.
Yeah, but I don't want to get yelled at by Spoonie over Twitter.
Yeah, the currywurst, that was it, I think. Currywurst, I think that's it. That's similar to Red Hot Monster Munch. Also funny whenever Spoonie was over in Limerick was whenever... Okay, Spoonie got in late on I think it was the Friday? Yeah, Spoonie got in late on the Friday night. About 6 hours after he was supposed to, because he accidentally entered the UK illegally.
Like you do.
Yeah, he took a wrong turn at Heathrow and ended up bypassing the customs, and this was the run-up to the 2012 Olympic Games, so he had to take some security guys back through the way he came so they could fix the hole in the defences. It was wonderful. So Spoonie arrived very late on the Friday. Saturday morning, first thing, he had a panel and he explained all this sort of stuff. Then he hung around the con all day signing autographs. Then immediately he went and filmed the crossover for Sting with me, and then afterwards we got like takeaway and hung out. But yeah, the guy was a tripper. We left about 1 o'clock in the morning, and he had a panel. On the way out, I said, good luck on the panel tomorrow for him, and he was like, what, I have a panel tomorrow morning? And I had to remind him that he had a second panel, and literally then he had to start writing what he was going to do in the next panel, and it was a live riff. He had to script an entire riff.
Jesus. See, this is why I don't want to be internet famous.
Yeah, he was a tripper. And it's
like at cons, I can just kind of stand behind you playing Crystal Breaker on my phone. People will be like, oh my gosh, damn, onto Hagen. And I'll be like, ooh, high score.
It's like, poor Noah. Next morning when he had the panel, he was even more wrecked. I think he got about 2 hours sleep. And then whenever he got back home, he had less than 24 hours before he had to go to Con Bravo.
Ouch. Yeah, this is really why I don't want to be internet famous.
But, yeah, lovely guy, and while we were waiting for the takeaway, I showed him my Chirpy review, which hadn't gone online yet at that point, and his reaction was beautiful. I really wish I'd filmed his reaction to it.
I can just imagine.
Some said about doing about Spinny Brad Hagen crossover. That would be really cool, doing a crossover with both Brad and Spinny.
Well, technically, you'd only have to go to Illinois, because they both live there now.
This is true, and me and Brad, whenever we were doing Myra Breckenridge, we were talking about doing about a second crossover we could do. Like, Brad said that, he wouldn't mind having me in one of his film projects, and if that happens, we could do a crossover. My suggestion was Tobe Hooper's Life Force, but do it as an 80s Dan Hagen crossover.
That'd be awesome.
And if we get Spinny involved in that, even better. But nothing like that is set up or scripted or anything.
Yeah, I would eventually, if we had some, a week one summer, come over to Illinois, get a hotel room, equidistant from both of them.
Oh yeah, I would love it. And, well, I don't think I've ever done a crossover with Nash, Darth David. Have I?
No, but I think he's done some cameos for you. I think he did one for, Bone Kickers.
Yes.
In the style of What the Fuck Was Wrong With You, which I greatly approved of. And you've done stuff for him for his Doctor Who reviews.
Oh yeah, we've done little cameos and stuff, but never a full-on crossover. At one point, I wanted to do a crossover with him for the Air Zone solution, but then was it Phalis and Linkara did a crossover of it?
Camu Phalis? Oh, I don't know.
It's like, oh well, no more Air Zone solution. What I might do is, I suppose, if I get a copy of all the episodes of The Stranger or Probe or something, I could do a crossover with a different Whovian each time, because these are unofficial Doctor Who spin-offs done by fans.
But I want Stranger because Colin Baker's involved.
And it's this is
He's great to follow on Twitter because he's like your old uncle. He was so angry because he couldn't make iTunes work this morning.
Yes, he was really upset.
It's like when something goes wrong, my dad's like, why won't iTunes work? And I'm like, let me look. What have you done? It's great because he has all these tech problems, and he'll tweet about them. And then, he'll tweet 10 minutes later, and no, I'm not going to reverse the polarity of the neutron beam. Thank you.
And then a couple of seconds later he tweets out saying, and yes, I am aware that was John Pertwee's bit, but everyone's quoting it at me for some reason.
There's no sonic screwdriver in my iTunes, thank you.
I didn't use the sonic screwdriver, I used a sonic lance. Well, it's true though. The sonic screwdriver was destroyed in the 5th Doctor's reign, and then the 7th Doctor got it for the TV movie again. So Colin and William Hartnell are the only Doctors who never got to use a sonic screwdriver.
Oh, a fan should make him one. As I'm sure they have.
I'm sure, yeah, he could have, buy a replica or something. It's just his Doctor didn't need a sonic screwdriver, he was that badass.
Yeah.
And I think it was Attack of the Cyberman, he just for one episode, he picked up a bit of equipment which was a sonic lance, which was similar. And he just did some stuff with it and then threw it away.
I was like, I don't need this anymore, because that's how awesome I am. Oh, and I don't think I ever said this publicly, but Cryptic Psych, who's our good friend, went to New York City Comic Con this last fall, and he got me an autographed picture from Colin Baker.
Yeah, that was in the box that got sent today.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm telling everybody. So publicly, thank you, Cryptic Psych. That's amazing. And I love you. Yay.
I love the Cryptic Psych.
Yay. Yeah, I'm always getting packages from your fans of stuff that I have to send to you. Zed just sent a Christian movie. And my mom's like, oh, were you expecting this thing from Canada? Did you order something? I'm like, oh, no, it's our friend Zed. He's sending me a DVD to send to Zara. My mom was like, why didn't he just send it to Zara? I was like, because it's really expensive.
Plus, you're sending boxes to me every so often.
Yeah, I am going to send one on Friday. Every time I get a paycheck from the day job.
So, am I allowed to know what this Christian movie is?
Oh, yeah, it's right over here. It's that one, Fireproof.
Oh, Fireproof, yeah, I've seen Fireproof, but I'll add it to my to-be-reviewed list, not one of the immediately to-be-reviewed, but up there with Battle Wizard and the Sugar High Glitter City and all.
Now, see, at the store, we have about 1 billion different books and relationship journals and stuff based off of Fireproof, so I think it's how to improve your marriage with Jesus or something. There's no explosions, but I think there is Jesus, so...
It's basically Kirk Cameron's playing a firefighter, and he's having he's having some issues with his wife, so then they do this Christian sort of marriage thing in order to come together, and then they come together.
And he catches on fire?
He should, but he doesn't. But it's basically like a full-length advertisement for this actual Christian sort of marriage service.
Meh.
I want a sequel called Waterproof, where he plays a swim instructor and whose marriage is falling apart. And in the movie, it's really hilarious. I used a clip from Fireproof in, Left Behind, because that's one where he used a stunt double. His wife was stunt doubling for the woman playing his partner because he wouldn't kiss somebody who wasn't his wife.
See, here's the thing. If you said to me, wife of mine, and I was like, yes, you say, I don't want you to kiss other people, I'd be like, that's cool, I won't. But, if I was an actress, or, you were, or, you were in movies, it'd be really career-limiting to say to you, because, it's just a job. If you have to have a kissing or a sex scene with somebody, it's just a job, It's not like you're actually having sex with them.
Yeah, and what was it, the Siege review, me and Robin in Minion masks were kissing in your will-be bedroom at Teddy's house.
Yeah, so, it's not like I'm never kiss him again! It's just a thing, that's what you have to do. You were, feeling up Brad Jones, and I'm not Brad, stop being with my wife, because it's just a job. It's a role.
Well, that was literally with you behind the camera, so if anything, that was porn that you were making yourself.
That's kind of awkward. I realized that all the crossovers I filmed for you, most of it devolved down to me directing porn. Yeah. Jerquirk says, is Jesus in Fireproof your personal Jesus? That'd be awesome.
It
Special
would.
cameo by Marilyn Manson.
By Marilyn Manson?
Because he did the cover of Personal Jesus.
Yeah, I know he did a cover version, but...
And that's the version that I like best.
Ah, okay.
The original's good, but I like his cover. It's just snarky and, I'm Marilyn Manson, boo, scary.
That was the song for, Not Another Teen Movie?
Mm-hmm.
Starring Captain America.
What a douche. Hate Captain America. Don't cry.
Aww.
Well, alright, so we're coming up to nearly about an hour, so we're gonna have to cut off. We'll still stream, but I'm gonna have to stop the recording at that point. But, here's what I have to say, because, alright, so I know I said this during my Avengers vlog, but no one liked me back then, so if you haven't seen it, go see it. But the thing is that, Captain America was a good idea, back in the day. But now we have, it's not farm times anymore. We have iPods. And we're all cynical bastards. And seeing Iron Man, Tony Stark, juxtaposed with Captain America was kind of like America how it was, that whole idolized, Tea Party masturbation material. And then he's the reality of America. Where's my latte, yo? I have to teleconference in 5 minutes. And the thing about it is, you're supposed to be oh, well, Tony's jaded and bitter and modern, and this is how things used to be, but this is how things are. And I like Tony Stark because he's honest. He's I'm kind of a douchebag. I'm a modern douchebag. I'm rich, and I do things and stuff, and I do what I want, and I'm Tony Stark. And he gets his, eventually. He has that whole anxiety disorder thing in Iron Man 3, but I like that because I like that honesty. Because Captain America's put the puppies and the children and the Boy Scouts, and we're whoa, the puppies grew up to be pit bulls, and the children are all on drugs, and the Boy Scouts don't have gays. So,
Well, Captain America is...
What do you have to say about that, foreigner?
Okay, well, the mainstream Marvel Universe Captain America is supposed to be the idealized of the good parts of America. However, in the Ultimate Universe, he's supposed to be the worst parts of America. In the movies, they went for the original version, and you're saying he's the past everything, but that's literally what he's supposed to be. He's not supposed to be. The reality, he's supposed to be hey, this is how things were, and he's trying to deal with the way things are now. That's the entire point of his character.
I guess, but I'm just so cynical, and I'm in a point in my life where I've been so not actually abused, theoretically abused. By the country that, I can't. Maybe someday I'll be oh, I look back now that I'm 53 and I guess Captain America's okay, but right now I'm just shut up.
He's the personification of the idea that of the American ideal that is worth aspiring to.
Yes, but that American ideal is so perverted now. I mean, I'm going to go off on a tangent for a second, and those listeners and people in the chat and everyone else who played Werewolf, the Apocalypse by White Wolf, you'll get me. That there was a totem, the American dream, and it became corrupted by the worm. And the thing is that, like, that ideal of American goodness and all that quote-unquote America can be and Americans can and should aspire to has been perverted in such a way and used so horribly against people who really are innocent that it spoiled the whole thing for me. It's like, oh, there's this great TV show you should watch. Oh, wait, the main character is a pedophile and has been arrested for pedophilia? It turns me off. And that's why Captain America is like pedophilia.
Well, he missed out on all of the cynical making things, so that's why it's an example of the old way of doing it. But he's not trying to make everyone else be like him. What he's trying to do is remind people about how things could be. And
well, that makes him a tragic anti-hero then, because we like iPods and latte and Tony Stark.
Okay.
That's what I have to say about that.
But
I haven't even looked at the chat and was like, no, Omega, I'm dying.
Winter Soldier was a very good film.
Alright.
And it was very, very sort of Watergate-era secrets and stuff like that.
I think
politics.
Flash said it was good.
Yeah.
I think I remember him saying that.
Yeah, you basically got in the movie, the SHIELD, the sort of the military group that you're working for.
There's a whole Hell Hydra thing, and it's like everywhere on the internet. I don't understand, but I'm playing along.
Yeah,
like,
spoilers for everyone.
Spoilers,
okay,
it wasn't Hydra, it was the worm, just saying.
In the original Captain America, his enemies were Hydra, which were the Nazi specialized, sci-fi science
team. No
team.
offense, but that sounds like so 80s. That sounds like so, like, G.I. Joe 80s.
Well, they were around since the 60s in the Captain America comic. But they were led by the Red Skull. And now he defeated them at the end of the one, and he got frozen.
The Red Skull!
And he's played by Hugo Weaving, and he has a red skull.
I love Hugo Weaving. There's nothing he can't do.
And so Captain America, then, after defeating them, he gets frozen. But then in S.H.I.E.L.D., which is the sort of the usually seen as secretive but benevolent sort of...
Except they have a flying Doom Fortress.
Yeah.
What's that up in the sky? What's that flying Doom Fortress? I don't know.
Well, that was the first time that was ever seen was the Avengers. And the other ones, they're usually fairly benevolent, but they're working for the government and they're being sort of secretive.
Wake up, sheeple, they have a Doom Fortress.
But then in Captain America the Winter Soldier, you find out that Hydra survived via Operation Paperclip and they took over S.H.I.E.L.D. and they become the villains and you have literal Nazis running the NSA. And the whole plot is basically inspired by the NSA spying thing.
That's so stupid.
It's honestly, for a big budget summer blockbuster, it's the most gutsy thing I've seen a big conglomerate do in a while. They're literally saying the NSA are Nazis.
I mean, like, I don't know. Is Edward Snowden in it? Whistleblowing man.
Captain America and Black Widow literally become Edward Snowden because they
Don't
leak
worry,
all
Chelsea Manning, I'll save you.
They leak all of the government secrets onto the internet at once, WikiLeaks style.
Oh, Jesus.
So, for the fact that this is made by Disney, Marvel working for Disney, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, but for all of their corporate gimme moneyness, I mean, they can be kind of cool as a company. I say, because they own Flip now, but... Well, no, I mean, like, back in the day where people were like, gay people are going to Disney! Disney, do something about this! And they were like, no.
Jack, I was just talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Omega has seen...
Shut your mouth. I was just talking about the Marvel Universe.
Omega has only seen Iron Man 1 and the Avengers and Thor 2.
No, I've seen all 3 Iron Man movies, thank you, because I saw the first 2 before I knew you. Excuse me.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And I've seen at least 2 of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, but they're not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So you saw Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, you saw Iron Man 3, the Avengers, and Thor 2. Is that it? Did you see Incredible Hulk or Captain America 1 or Thor 1?
No, I saw Incredible Hulk movie years and years ago because I got the slushie at 7-Eleven.
Not the Eric Bana one, the Edward Norton one.
Something like that. There was CGI. I don't know.
It sounds like you saw the Eric Bana one,
I'm
which
the
predated.
worst geek ever. No one loves me. I saw most of the X-Men movies back in the day.
Well, they're not Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I don't care. I like them. And I don't care what anyone else says. I liked the Wolverine movie. Not the one with Japan. I haven't seen that, but...
Well, you liking X-Men Origins Wolverine is your problem.
I don't care. It was fun. I wanted to see a whole bunch of just crap. I wanted the equivalent of a TV dinner out of a movie, and that's what I got. God damn it!
You know, the only reason I went to see that film in the cinema was because I managed to find the leaked copy and watch that, and I was genuinely curious to see how the film changed from the work print that I saw to the final version, and the differences were numerous and subtle, and I was fascinated by this look into how filmmaking progresses behind the scenes.
But like the thing is that like sometimes, like here, okay, like again we're gonna be running terribly over, but I'll deal with it. But something about summer blockbusters or any movies really that I think a lot of our critic friends tend to forget is sometimes you just want bubble gum. You just want to fill up on breadsticks before the main meal. And you know what? Like, people have been said, oh, well, you know, Pacific Rim was this, that, and the other thing, and it should have been blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it was fun. I paid for fun, and that's what I was expecting, and that's what I got.
Well, no one's opposed to that. Most of us are just opposed to the idea that, you know, X-Men Origins Wolverine was anything but a cancerous polyp on the anus of humanity.
It was fun. I wanted fun, I paid for fun, that's what I got, and I went home. There you go. You know, it doesn't always have to be Citizen Kane.
I didn't.
Sometimes it can be Ishtar.
I seem to recall very early in my backstreet critique for Pacific Rim, I said, believe the hype. This is as good as people say it is because it is fun.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just what you want. And I mean, I don't know. That's just what I think. That's what everyone is here to listen to.
Yes, Timmer, yes, I quoted Red Dwarf.
Dun dun dun. But we may keep streaming, we may keep talking. Listeners who are listening to this in the future, you will never know because we're going to end the episode. Oh, it's sad. But files can only be a certain size on Blip. Oh.
Can they? Didn't know that.
Yeah, it can only be about 1.5 gigs, but I always give myself some room anyway. Besides, you know, I don't like it to run too long because I have to put in the soundtrack on both sides of it when it's the MP3 version and blah, blah, blah. So for this week, I have been the Omega Geek, and who would you have want to have been this week?
I have been, Kirk Cameron.
Oh, we have to get divorced. So see you next time.